You can't fix someone who doesn't value you. And the truth is, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's not confused. She's not too busy. She just doesn't care enough. You wait for her reply while she entertains others. You hold on, hoping she'll change, while she's showing you every day that she won't. Every man watching this has felt it. That slow, gut-wrenching realization that the person you gave your all to sees you as disposable. You're not here by accident. You're here because you're tired of chasing someone who never planned to catch you. You're done begging to be chosen. Comment, "I choose myself," if this is your turning point, because what you're about to hear will completely rewire your mind and transform your life. Number 1. She doesn't respect you. She doesn't respect you, and if you're still trying to make sense of it, still wondering what you did wrong, still holding on to the good memories hoping they outweigh the neglect, then this is for you. You give your time, your energy, your availability, your loyalty without asking for much in return, just basic presence, basic truth, and the smallest amount of consistency. But she still pulls away like you're the burden, like you asking for honesty is pressure, like your expectations are somehow unreasonable, when deep down you know any person who truly values you would have already shown up, because people always make time for what they care about. And if they don't make time for you, it's because they don't consider you a priority, no matter how much effort you've given. And the most brutal part is how easily they can sleep at night, knowing they've left you in confusion. How comfortable they are knowing they've made you feel like a backup plan, because when someone doesn't respect you, they don't fear losing you. They don't protect your peace. They exploit your loyalty like a resource they can use when they're lonely. And every time you show up again, after she goes missing, after she lies, after she flirts with attention, she swears means nothing. You're confirming that her treatment of you is acceptable. You're teaching her that love doesn't need effort, that she doesn't need to change, that you'll keep coming back even when she gives you less and less, and she knows it. She knows you're stuck in the fantasy, in the potential, not the reality. And as long as you keep feeding her ego without boundaries, she has no reason to adjust her behavior, because what incentive does she have to grow when you reward her lowest standards with your highest level of loyalty? And the real pain is realizing you've done this to yourself by accepting what you never deserved, by staying quiet every time she dismissed your voice, by pretending her coldness was just a phase, by blaming yourself when her absence was the answer you were too afraid to accept. And now you sit in this space between denial and self-betrayal, knowing deep down this isn't what real love feels like, but clinging anyway because part of you still believes you're the one who can fix this. And the hard truth is that you can't fix someone who benefits from staying broken. You can't reach someone who avoids accountability. And the longer you delay facing this, the deeper you fall into a pattern that rewires you to believe that struggle equals love, that pain equals proof. And that's how respect disappears. Not with a loud rejection, but with quiet disrespect over time, until you wake up one day realizing you've become a version of yourself that begs for the bare minimum, that negotiates your own value just to keep a person who wouldn't lift a finger to keep you. And the moment you feel the need to explain your worth, you've already overstayed your welcome, because when someone truly respects you, they don't need convincing. They don't need multiple chances. They show up, they stay present, they grow with you. So the only question left is why you keep showing up for someone who's already shown you they don't care. And if you hesitate to answer that, you're not confused. You're afraid to let go of the illusion, afraid of what healing without her looks like, afraid that if you stop trying, you'll confirm that you were never enough. But that's the lie, because if she needed fixing, she would have asked for help. If she cared, she would have changed without being told. And if she loved you, she wouldn't have made you doubt it this much. So stop waiting for her to become someone she never intended to be, and start becoming the version of you that no longer tolerates emotional poverty disguised as connection. and that her lack of effort is not a challenge. It's a closure you're refusing to accept. And once you finally accept that truth, it's time to rebuild your mind with a foundation that can't be shaken by temporary people. And that's exactly why the Stoic relationship blueprint exists. For men like you who are ready to break free from confusion, betrayal, and emotional chaos, and build a life grounded in truth, peace, and power. This isn't just another book. It's a manual built on timeless Stoic principles that speak directly to your situation, designed to shift your mindset instantly and permanently. And now, it's available in audiobook form, so you can carry it with you. Listen while walking, jogging, driving, or just breathing fresh air, because growth shouldn't wait. This life-changing wisdom is yours forever. Whenever life shakes you, whenever you feel yourself slipping, you'll have the voice and guidance of this book in your corner, always. The link is in the comments. Number 2, stop hoping she'll change. Stop hoping she'll change. Because the longer you hold on to the illusion that her silence is temporary, that her coldness has a hidden warmth, that one day she'll wake up and appreciate everything you've done, the longer you trap yourself in a prison made from your own expectations. You sit there waiting for signs, reading into emojis, reinterpreting messages, assuming her indifference is secretly pain, that she's pushing you away because she cares too much, when in truth, she's already moved on in her mind, and your heart is the only one still pretending this relationship is alive. But the evidence is in her behavior, because when someone wants to grow with you, they don't leave you begging for basics. They don't make you earn conversations. They don't only show affection when they feel you pulling back, and yet you stay, feeding her detachment with your commitment, telling yourself she just needs time, when time is exactly what she's been given and has done nothing with. And the sad reality is that her comfort with your pain isn't a sign she's struggling. It's a sign she's not invested, because people don't ignore what matters to them. They don't neglect who they fear losing. And if she really cared, you wouldn't be confused right now. You wouldn't be questioning every word, every delay, every half-effort response. And every time you give her another chance, every time you lower your standards in the name of love, you give her more permission to stay exactly the same, because why would she grow when she's already rewarded for minimal effort? When she knows you'll always be there, when she sees you trying harder the colder she becomes. And the truth you're avoiding is that she's not working on herself. She's just working on keeping you emotionally hooked long enough to not feel guilty when she finally walks away. And by the time you realize it, you're already months deep into conversations that go nowhere, into apologies that lead to nothing changing, into cycles that always end with you apologizing for caring too much. And it's not that she's incapable of change, it's that she doesn't want to change for you. She doesn't see you as the reason to become better, because if she did, you wouldn't be sitting here right now watching a video trying to decode behavior that already decoded itself through absence, inconsistency, and lack of effort. And if you're thinking, maybe it's just timing, maybe she needs healing, maybe she's never known love like yours, ask yourself how many times you've used that same excuse to justify what no one else would tolerate. And at what point does your patience become self-betrayal? At what point does waiting turn into willful denial of your own worth? Because every day you stay hoping she'll change is another day you don't. Another day you shrink to make her feel comfortable. Another day you build your identity around someone who treats your heart like it's temporary, and you might think detaching means giving up. But the truth is, it's the most powerful thing you can do. Because it's the moment you stop handing your peace to someone who never knew what to do with it, and you start showing yourself what it looks like to love with boundaries, to walk away from inconsistency, to reject confusion disguised as connection. And it starts with choosing clarity over chaos, choosing space over second-guessing, choosing freedom over fantasy, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself more than the version of her you built in your head. And when you stop hoping she'll change, you make room for your own transformation, for your discipline to rise, for your self-respect to re-enter the room, for your standards to be something you live by, not something you compromise every time she gives you breadcrumbs. Number 3, break the mental trap. What's keeping you stuck is not her rejection, but the lies you keep telling yourself to justify staying attached to someone who has already let go of you in every way that matters. You sit there replaying every moment, every text, every conversation, trying to find where it went wrong, thinking maybe you were too available, too vulnerable, too eager to care, when in truth it was never about your effort. It was about the fact that your presence was never truly appreciated. And instead of seeing that clearly, you started turning her lack of interest into a challenge, something you had to earn, as if love is a reward for endurance. And that's how the trap begins. Not because she told you you weren't enough, but because she showed you just enough attention to keep you guessing, to keep you hooked on possibility, while withholding everything meaningful. And you started confusing the pain of inconsistency with depth, mistaking emotional whiplash for passion, believing that the emotional starvation she was feeding you was proof that you just needed to prove yourself harder. And the longer you stay in that mindset, the more you convince yourself that her approval means something about your worth. And without realizing it, you place her validation above your own peace, your own time, your own values, until one day you don't recognize who you are anymore, because everything about you is built around trying to win the attention of someone who stopped being emotionally present long ago. And you keep hoping if you stay loyal enough, patient enough, silent enough, she'll come around, but she doesn't, because why would she when you're the one doing all the emotional labor, when you're the one waiting for her to feel something she's clearly not choosing to feel? And in that space, you begin to betray yourself, little by little, saying things like, maybe she's just not ready. Maybe I'm asking for too much. When deep down you know if the roles were reversed, you would never treat someone this way. And that's where the trap tightens. Because now your identity is wrapped up in proving your worth to someone who doesn't even see your value. And the more confused you become, the more you chase clarity from the same source that causes the confusion, and nothing changes because she benefits from the imbalance. She gains control by keeping you emotionally unstable, and you think being strong means staying. That loyalty means suffering, but strength is walking away when you know something is harming your growth, and you can't grow when you're stuck in a dynamic that rewards you with guilt for having needs, that punishes you for expressing yourself, that shrinks your voice down to silence just to avoid conflict, just to keep her close. But closeness without care is not connection, and the mental trap is believing that you need her to feel whole, that if she just changes, you'll finally feel good enough. When the truth is, she was never meant to complete you. You're meant to realize that wholeness is something you reclaim when you stop giving it away to someone who only shows up when it's convenient. And breaking the trap means waking up, not waiting. It means seeing the reality of what is, not the illusion of what you wish it could be. It means asking yourself why you keep giving chances to someone who doesn't respect your effort, who doesn't reciprocate your energy, who doesn't protect your peace. And when you ask those questions honestly, you start to see that this isn't love. It's emotional addiction, and the withdrawal is brutal because it forces you to face everything you were avoiding, the silence, the self-reflection, the loneliness. But that's where your power is, in learning to be okay without someone who used their presence like a weapon and their absence like a punishment. And from that pain comes clarity, because once you see the cycle for what it is, you realize you're not weak. You were conditioned to think that caring meant enduring, that loving meant tolerating pain. And when you reject that lie, you begin to build a life where your energy is protected, your standards are enforced, and your love is given to those who don't make you doubt it. And it all starts with breaking the trap, with letting go of the illusion, with facing the truth that if she wanted to change, she would have already, and that her lack of effort is not a challenge. It's a closure you're refusing to accept. Number 4, cut her off completely. Cut her off completely, because half measures don't work when healing from someone who used your emotions like a game and your patience like a test you never volunteered for. You think keeping a line of communication open is harmless. That checking in once in a while, keeping her on your social media, leaving the door slightly ajar just in case she wakes up one day and regrets losing you, is wise or mature or noble. But what you're really doing is setting yourself up to get dragged back into the same cycle that already drained you, confused you, and made you question your value. And you know it because every time her name pops up on your screen, your chest tightens not with joy but with dread, the kind of dread that comes from knowing what she represents. The relapse, the false hope, the version of you that you're trying to leave behind, the version that keeps letting someone back in just because you're scared to fully let go. And this is where it gets real, because until you cut her off completely, until you remove every single avenue she can use to reach you, until her name no longer exists in your inbox or your contacts or your favorites list, you will never fully move on, because deep down you're still waiting, still hoping she'll say something that makes all the hurt make sense. Still clinging to the idea that one day she'll realize your worth. But that's not healing. That's self-sabotage dressed in hope. And you can't build a future while sitting in a room with the door wide open to the past. Especially when the past is a person who had access to your best and treated it like a burden, who made you feel like you had to earn the love you were already giving, who dipped in and out of your life like your feelings were optional. And the longer you give her access, the longer you teach yourself that your boundaries don't matter, that your peace isn't sacred, that someone can break you and still be welcome. And that kind of permission is dangerous because it keeps you locked in cycles that feel familiar but are killing your growth. Cycles where you confuse nostalgia with value, where you trade self-respect for old laughs, where you let someone walk back into your space just because you're scared of the silence without them. But silence is not your enemy. Your fear of it is, because once you cut her off completely and sit in that silence long enough, you'll start to hear the truth you've been avoiding, the truth that she didn't change. You just got used to being disappointed. The truth that every time you took her back, she respected you less. The truth that your peace doesn't need her presence to exist. It needs her absence to flourish. And that kind of clarity doesn't come through long talks or closure meetings or soft goodbyes. It comes from the final firm decision to disconnect, to walk away without announcements or explanations, to reclaim your time, your attention, your focus, and redirect it toward building something real, something rooted in peace, in progress, in standards that you actually enforce. Because if someone can disrespect you and still access you, then you're the one keeping yourself stuck. And that's what has to change. Not her mind, but your boundaries, your self-protection, your understanding that love never needs you to suffer to be proven, and anything that does is a test you weren't meant to keep failing. So cut her off, not to punish her, but to free yourself, to step fully into a life where your value is non-negotiable and your presence is earned, not assumed. Number 5. Become untouchable. Become untouchable, not by pretending nothing ever hurt you, but by becoming the version of yourself who refuses to be weakened by the same things that once destroyed you. You become untouchable when you stop explaining your value, when you stop needing someone to validate the effort you already gave, when you stop waiting for the apology that's never coming, and instead of replaying the past, you rewrite your present by living every day with precision, with purpose, with the mindset that everything you went through wasn't meant to break you, but to build a version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't try to convince someone to see what they chose to ignore. And you realize that your time is your currency, and where you spend it defines your worth. And when you spend it on people who make you feel replaceable, your value drops, not because you're less, but because you're acting like you are. And the moment you reclaim that time and invest it in yourself, in your mind, your body, your goals, you begin the process of becoming untouchable, not by becoming emotionless, but by mastering your emotions, by no longer reacting to every trigger, by no longer attaching to every opportunity, by no longer fantasizing about who people could be and instead judging them by who they consistently show themselves to be. And when you make that shift, your energy changes, your posture changes, your standards rise, not because you're trying to be hard, but because you're tired of being handled like you're soft. And now you walk differently, think differently, decide differently, because the old version of you tolerated things that the new you wouldn't even entertain. And untouchable doesn't mean arrogant. It means unavailable for disrespect, unavailable for indecision, unavailable for relationships where your value is constantly negotiated. And you get there by cutting off what weakens you, by removing distractions, by mastering habits, by surrounding yourself with people who build, not drain, people who challenge, not compete. And you get there by understanding that peace is not something you find in another person. It's something you build by subtracting everything that disrupts it, and that includes her, especially if she was the reason you started questioning who you are, because once you rebuild the connection with yourself, once you rediscover what it feels like to wake up and not feel emotionally tethered to someone who didn't deserve your depth, you reach a level of self-trust that's louder than any compliment, any like, any temporary attention from someone who doesn't intend to stay. And at that point, people can't manipulate you with silence. They can't control you with breadcrumbs. They can't gaslight you with words, because you've replaced their noise with action, their confusion with clarity, and their access with distance. And now you move different, not because you're bitter, but because you've tasted what it's like to be betrayed and decided never again, not in the same way, not by the same kind of energy, not by someone who calls you too much when all you ever did was care. And now you're focused, not petty, disciplined, not desperate, calm, not passive, present, not paranoid. And every day you commit to that version of you a little more. Every day you build systems instead of expectations, standards instead of second chances, routines instead of reasons to check her page. And now when she reaches out, you don't even flinch, not because you don't feel, but because you finally feel whole. And untouchable doesn't mean you don't love. It means you know what to do when love isn't returned with the same strength. And you no longer sit in situations that weaken your identity, because becoming untouchable isn't a flex. It's a quiet, powerful decision that says I've worked too hard on myself to be dragged backwards by someone who didn't notice me until I stopped noticing them. If you're still watching, it means you're done being lied to, done chasing, done breaking yourself to fit into someone else's neglect. And now, it's time to choose you. Society doesn't want you to think like this. They want you confused, soft, compliant, begging for love that drains you. That's why the Stoic relationship blueprint was never made to be safe. It was made to set men like you free. This is the guide no one gave you, direct, raw, and rooted in timeless Stoic principles that will rewire how you see relationships, yourself, and your future. It's now available in audiobook form, so you can take it with you. Listen while walking or working out. You own it forever, and every time life tries to pull you back, you'll have something real to stand on. Comment, "I choose power," if you're ready to grab it now. The link is in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. Help more men find these truths before they waste another year begging to be chosen.